propaganda is a powerful tool. And to describe it, propaganda is the heavily biased presentation of information to influence public opinion for any given agenda. Obviously, this is demonstrated pretty well, especially if you know what you're looking for, in mainstream news. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the news networks put a lot of work into trying to guide people's thinking. A lot of this can be traced back to Edward Bernays, who's the American propagandist in World War II. Though a study of propaganda would not be complete without also looking at it from other points of view. You can study Joseph Goebbels from Germany and Ilya Ehrenberg from Russia. Ehrenberg, I think, is the most notorious of the World War II propagandists. The reason propaganda works the way it does, I think, is because people work a certain way. These two books teach, I should say, how people work, how society works. When you understand these two things, how a person's mind works, and then how the society they interact with works, and you know what makes them move, you can control them, you can influence them. Edward Bernays understood this. He is credited with being the founder for the modern advertisement industry. Edward Bernays understood people really well. He knew how society worked. He knew how to influence them, and he did it masterfully. I will be providing a few videos on this topic. But probably the very best example of propaganda here in America is with our public school system. It is notorious for having a number of issues. I will be showing you a few DVDs and books which will of course be linked down below. But it does seem that there's a specific agenda to indoctrinate the next generation. It also seems that there's a specific agenda to create... There we go. Whoa. I had this right before I started. Ha! Now you can see it. To create, I don't know, mindless slaves, sheeple, useful idiots. A lot of people have a mistaken view of our public school system and what its purpose is. There's, of course, the cover story that it's meant to educate children. But is it really? If you take a look at it closely, it's more like it's a machine that's putting out a specific product. And depending on who needs to use this product, the public school student, the typical American citizen, so to speak, demonstrates whether or not it's been successful. Another way propaganda is very powerful is, of course, in modern media. The advent of the radio allowed for one person or one group or company to put out information in a specific way to a lot of people. The advent of the television broadened that scope. And of course, in modern times, the advent of internet really raised the bar for how much influence you could have on any given person. But most of it does, here in America at least, trace back to Edward Bernays. Check out the links below to learn more.